Hi, I'm Jenny, and this is my sweet dog Fuji, and today we're going to work on doing some seed starting for the fall and winter garden. We're a little bit behind schedule with starting seeds for the fall, but I don't think it's too late. So today I'm going to use the soil blocking method to start a bunch of seeds, and let's see how they turn out. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do is I am going to get it's Vermont compost. I've tried a lot of different types of soil to start the soil blocks, but because I like to use like the little mini soil blocks, it's been the best. It's been the best for like creating nice stiff blocks that don't crumble, and I haven't found anything else. The only thing is it's kind of expensive, so I like to start them in the little mini soil blocks first. That way, if like one of the cells don't germinate, then I'm not wasting a big 2-inch block. And so I just feel like it's the most efficient so far. I'm relatively new to starting seeds, and this spring was my first really successful season starting most of the things in my garden from seed. And I've tried a variety of methods. I tried doing like the 72 count trays. I've tried, um, you know, uh, doing it in the bigger blocks, and then I've tried doing the smaller ones. And I just feel like for the money of the seeds, the money of the soil, and then the time, that it takes to grow up and that sort of thing, I have found that this is what I like doing. And I also really like, I like the process of soil blocking. I think it's fun. I think a lot of people think that it's more work and that sort of thing, but I just kind of like the process of making the little blocks and stamping them out and that sort of thing. So it's taken me a while to figure out exactly what my process is, but what I have found is I had these little to-go containers, and they're just kind of the perfect size for 2 soil blocking stamps. And then that's I think this is 20, so that's 40. 1 2 3 4 1 2, so this is 20, so then it creates 40 little plants. And then the other thing I like is that there's the lid. So this kind of acts as a humidity dome, and it's just kind of small and compact. And then if I want to move them around or whatnot, this has just kind of been what works for me. So I'm going to start with getting the compost. All right, I have some scissors. These are my nice scissors, so I need to remember to bring them back in. And then the only other thing with soil blocking that's kind of a pain is the watering, because you have to water them like every single day. But what I wanted to try was I bought this felt, kind of like wicking mat material. And I want to see if maybe I can put it underneath the tray, and then it would help like keep it moist without me having to water it like once or twice a day. So this is just something that I want to try. I tried to put little holes in the bottom of the trays and then put it in another container, but then once I did that, it just like flooded it and it turned into a big mud pie. So I'm just gonna try something a little bit different. So I'm gonna grab the soil and I'm gonna put it in this little tray. And then I'm gonna water it. And then while that's soaking up, I'm gonna try cut this little felt material. So maybe I can just put it in here like this. And then I can either put the felt like in like a baking sheet or a tray and then fill that with water. I don't know. Or it comes with this string that I think it's supposed to like help wick it, but I don't know. Let's see. Maybe let's try. And then if I can find a container that's not like this plastic, because you can reuse this plastic. But once I put these outside, when I was like hardening them off, they just kind of like a lot of them cracked and stuff. So I'd like to find a more sturdy option. But for now, I think this is easy. It's compact, and so far, I like doing it this way. So then what I learned about soil blocks is you have to get it like pretty moist, like definitely more moist than if you do it in the seed trays, because it's kind of like you have to make the blocks stick together like Play-Doh. And if it's too dry, it'll just get like really crumbly. And then I just take my little soil blocker stamp guy and fill it up, and then I kind of scrape it along the bottom of this tray and make sure that they're all in there pretty good. And I haven't done this since the spring, so I need to get reacclimated to making these because it was a little bit of a learning curve. But then you just stick it in here and push up, and that looks really good. So isn't that fun? And then there's like little holes so you can put your little seeds. And for me, it's just really motivating to have 40 in this small little spot because I'm still new to learning what grows when and like timing wise for gardening based on the seasons. And so in the spring when I did this, it was just nice to learn about the different types of things and how they grow and how things germinate and how long they take, and you know what seeds you should put together and which ones you shouldn't. Because what I learned is the first time I used like a large tray, and I made it like a tray like this, and I put all of the different types of plants on that same tray. And then some plants grew really fast, and then some plants didn't grow very fast. And so then with the light that's over it, it would hit the light, and then I'd have to move them and reorganize them. So that's what I learned last season with starting seeds. And then I'm just trying to get a little bit better each time. So this is really my like second go around with seeds, and this is going to be my first time really trying to do the fall and winter garden. So and it's October 12th, and the weather is still really nice. It's about in the morning it's pretty chilly, it's about 55 degrees, but like right now it's probably 80 degrees. So I feel like this winter has been a warmer winter than the last two seasons. Last October, I believe we had a ton of rain by October. So maybe I'm not too late in getting this garden started, but we'll find out. And another thing is that there's certain times on the seed packet that they say to plant things. And I don't come up with like a grand plan of, exactly like calendars and that sort of thing. I just kind of want to try different things because last year I started some artichoke seeds around this time. And I don't think you're supposed to plant artichokes in the fall. I think you're supposed to plant artichokes in the spring. I'm not sure. I just remember I was doing it wrong. But yeah, it worked and I got artichokes. So there are certain things I know aren't going to work in the winter months, like tomatoes and peppers and zucchini. So I'm not going to test that theory, but I feel like there's some room to kind of play around with certain things. And one thing that I want to work on is my flower gardening. And I heard about this method called the cool flower method. And it's where you start your seeds in the winter so that they have like a head start in the spring and you can start getting blooms early. So I'm going to start a bunch of fun things because the Lisianthus, this right here, is one of my favorite flowers that I grew from seed. And I started them in February. And one of the things that I did was I started them in the 72 count tray. So it just took up so much room under the grow lights, and these take forever to germinate. I want to say I didn't even plant these out until about like 4 months after I started the seeds, or maybe longer. So I'm really excited to do these in a tiny little, little to-go container and have 80 seeds, 40 seeds in this little tiny container, and then they can just take their time and germinate slowly. And I don't have to worry about managing the space under the grow lights. So yeah, we're going to start a lot of flowers. And I'm just gonna start as many things as I can, because even if it doesn't work, I feel like I'll learn a lot. So let me make up more of these little trays. Okay, so I have all my little trays made up with the felt. So I'm just gonna stamp out more of these little slow blocks. Okay, so here's the fun part. Let's see. Okay, so what seeds should we start? This is exciting. So I separated all my warms, the things I know for sure are warm stuff like tomatoes and peppers and stuff. And then I put in here like brassicas, like cauliflower and cabbage and lettuces and things that I either know grow well in the wintertime or things that I'm questionable and I just want to try. So I definitely know I want to do broccoli. So I'm going to get that started. And then what I've been doing is I just write on the top of the lid what they are as a label. So let me go get a marker. Okay, got a marker. That Fuji, what are you doing, honey? He's down here by my feet. So this is a Chinese broccoli from Baker Creek, Yod Pho. I love Chinese broccoli. So, and I haven't been very successful with broccoli yet, but I think I started them during the wrong time. I tried to start them in the spring, and I think it was already too warm. And so this is my opportunity. And the other thing I like about these little soil blocks is I feel like I waste less seeds because I just put one little seed in the divot. But I don't know, I could change my mind next year and then be like, this is way too much work. But I find this process kind of meditative, and I don't know if you can see the little seeds in there, but I just like, this is what I like to do. And so I try and make like things fun if I can. So this one is Yod Fa. Yod Fa. Broccoli. Fuji. And see what I mean? He just makes gardening so much more fun because he hangs out with me. If I was out here by myself, I feel like I would not be as motivated. So this one is the broccoli, early purple sprouting broccoli. And I'm really excited about this one because I think it was Jacques in the garden. He, I believe, raved about this purple broccoli, and he said that he just kept getting shoots all the time, and it's really delicious. And I actually prefer the broccoli that are more like not the whole head, because I rarely eat like a whole head of broccoli. It'd be nice just to pull off a couple shoots for dinner and not have to commit to the whole thing. So, oh no, oh, that's just dirt. Purple broccoli. And look at that, our little package, our first little seeds. So there's that. That's very nice. Okay, and then cauliflower. I haven't really had a whole lot of luck growing cauliflower, even from starts that I bought in the nursery. So this is I really want to make this happen. Fuji, please stop. Please stop that. He's trying to get out and go in the front yard where he doesn't belong. Yeah, and this is just, I don't know why. I just think it's fun how it's kind of precise, like little cute squares. I don't know, it kind of just feels like an arts and crafts project. So this one is Purple of Sicily. Sicily. And, oh, this one's fun. Romanesco Italia. So this one's like a fun green one. And the labeling, I start off strong with the labels I did in the spring, and then by the time they kind of went in the ground, I kind of fell off the wagon, but we're just gonna keep trying. So Romanesco Italia. I think generally if I know you're a cabbage, you're a broccoli, you're a cauliflower, I feel like that's good enough for me for now. Okay, so cabbages, cabbage. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cabbages. Perfect. So I love cabbages because I think they're just so beautiful in the landscaping. And last year I bought some starts and I stuck them in the ground probably too late. but I still got cabbages. Actually, down this row right here were all cabbages, and I just thought they were so pretty, and they kind of look like a succulent or a flower. So my goal eventually, once I get better at this gardening, seed starting, um, and just my overall process more in place, I want my landscaping to be all edible. So instead of having like ornamental plants, I want my edible plants to be my ornamental plants, which is a lot, it's high maintenance and it's a lot of work, but I just get so much joy out of watching something grow from a little baby seed and then planting it out and then, you know, harvest and eating something, and then being able to change my mind. And you know, I don't like making permanent decisions because I'm constantly just changing my mind, because I like to be creative and try weird things or things that are a little bit less conventional. So doing the edible landscaping is a lot of fun for me, and I don't have to commit to putting like a tree or a shrub that was really expensive and planted in the wrong place. It's kind of and then maybe I didn't realize that I wanted to put, you know, something else there, or, you know, and that sort of thing. So this kind of is teaching me. Okay, so this one was the Mammoth Red Rock cabbage right there. Mammoth Red Rock. Okay. I think it was like that. No, it's like that. See, look, I already messed it up. Okay. So then Copenhagen Market cabbage right here. I wonder if I could just leave these seeds outside. It's so hot right now. Um, Maybe I'll try doing that and see. I just feel like they've grown better underneath the grow lights. Copenhagen cabbage and Charleston Wakefield. So these are the two. They just, when they're in these soil blocks too, I feel like they grow really, really fast when they're under the grow lights. But then you do have to harden them off, which is something that I'm kind of not the greatest at doing. But yeah, you do need to not just take these outside when you're ready to plant them from under the grow lights, because I tried doing that because I wanted to know, like, do you really need to harden these off, or is that just like an unnecessary step? And you know, but you do. I burned a lot of plants, like they got cold and then struggled, and or when it was too hot. So if you're ever wondering if you need to harden them off, yes, I have made that mistake. Oh, and then I have this big giant mammoth cabbage. Let's see how many of you I have. So I tried growing these in the spring and it didn't work out. So here's my chance. But I also thought it would be fun to have these giant cabbages and these cabbages throughout the winter time to help suppress the weeds, because we've got a lot of land that doesn't have anything on it other than some mulch that I placed. And I spend a lot of time weeding in the wintertime, and I don't spray any chemicals, so I do it by hand, and it is pretty labor intensive. So I was gonna try and see if I can plant some plants to help me with the weeds. Giant cabbage. And another thing I learned from growing things in the spring is to try and grow things that are similar together. So if you grow one thing that grows really fast and then another thing that doesn't grow very fast at all, it makes it hard to manage. So that's something that, what goes with cabbage? How about Brussels sprouts? I think Brussels sprouts and cabbage are similar. Doop, doop, doop. And I haven't had a successful Brussels sprout harvest yet. We've been here for about 2.5 years, almost 3. And I've tried growing Brussels sprouts a couple times, and so far I haven't. So I'm pretty motivated. Brussels sprouts for this to be the year. Okay, so I've already used like half of my trays for edible stuff, and I want to make sure that I account for flowers. So I think I'm going to do more Lisianthus because these take so long to grow. So I'm going to do one tray of it's the same ones that I have out here, but I want to try them as like the cool flower method. So Voyager 2 First Love F1 pelleted and Roseanne Brown. So Voyage 2 and Roseanne Brown. And this is my favorite flower that I've grown. So I'm really excited about this. Oh, I've got a lot of seeds. There's a lot of seeds here. So I might be able to do this whole tray with just one color because I have a ton of seeds. And I think with these pelleted seeds, I heard they don't store as long. So I want to use these seeds up. Yeah, there's a lot of seeds. I could do like a bunch of trays. Okay, so this one is the Roseanne Brown. So this whole tray is going to be Roseanne Brown. And I don't have that many trays, and I'm excited about a lot of things. So I'm just going to, maybe I'll do another round of these later. Okay. It's getting hot. I feel like I'm burning. Fuji, where are you? Oh, there you are. And then this one is Voyage 2. This is the white one that I had in the garden, and it's really pretty. Okay, so I don't have as many of these ones. Let's see if I can make 40 though. Okay, yay. Okay, and then I'm just gonna stick the seeds. There's a couple in there. So this one's Voyage 2. Lisianthus. Okay. Whew. Okay, what else? Fuji, what else do we need to do today? Oh, lettuces. We need to do lettuce. And I love this Merlot lettuce. And the Tom Thumb lettuce. This one's weird. Yeticule. I don't know. I didn't like that one, so I'm gonna not do that one. So we'll do lettuces. And then maybe we'll do more flowers, pansies and bachelor's buttons. Oh, and we have to do snapdragons. Oh, and poppies. I wonder if these direct sow in late fall. Oh, these pansies were so pretty. They look like these Japanese cherry blossoms. Oh, we need to do onions, but I won't do them in the little seed tray. Oh, the celery was fun. I don't know if I have enough trays. And shiso. I tried to grow shiso in the summer, but none of them worked. Maybe they like the cold better. We'll do that another day though. So I need more flowers. Stock. I don't have very many of those. Carrots, radishes, beets. I don't know if I can grow beets, even if I wanted to. I love beets, but I don't know if it was the beets' fault, but I had a little incident with after I ate some beets. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, lettuce is next. So this beautiful Merlot lettuce, I started this in the spring and it grew and it was beautiful, but it was kind of the end of the season. So I didn't get to enjoy it for very long. So I want lots and lots of this red Merlot lettuce. And they say you can like sprinkle lettuce seeds in the garden box and like direct sow them. But in general, I just am not very good at direct sowing. I don't know. It's probably the way that I'm um, preparing the beds. I'm probably skipping steps. But I haven't. And then watering them. I just feel like when I get them off to like a good start, and I'm watching them and babying them, I have better luck. But it's probably not like the method. It's probably me and how I'm operating. So, and then this is the Tom Thumb lettuce, which is also really cute. It reminds me of like a smaller butter lettuce, but you can just cut it in half and make like a little wedge salad with it. Or it's like really tender, so you can eat it on sandwiches. So yes, I love the Tom Thumb lettuce and the Merlot lettuce. Tom Thumb and Merlot. Perfect. Whew. Okay, so let's go back to flowers. Snapdragons. I don't know how many seeds I have, but I loved the snapdragons. Oh, I don't need them. There's not many. Maybe I should order more seeds. Madame Butterfly Ivory and Chantilly light salmon. There's not very many, and these are so tiny. Maybe I'll wait on these and do them inside because I can't see with it being so bright out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same with the poppies. Okay, let's just get through this. So bachelor's buttons. These ones are easier to do. Oh, these are the black bachelor buttons. Very dramatic. I think they're fun. And I'm just going to do the whole tray with the black because I really like the black ones. All right. Bachelor button black. Okay. And you can see just from being out here, you know, when you put the humidity dome on, it like locks in the moisture. So I really like using these little guys with the lids. We're gonna go take a little break. Okay, need to get through this because these soil blocks will dry out really fast if they're out here in the sun. So I need to get the like little humidity domes on. So I'm gonna do these poppies, which were so pretty. The seeds are teeny tiny. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them. And I want lots of these poppies. And they say something about cold stratifying poppies. I didn't know about that when I started these last year. And I didn't have any problems. So I'm not going to worry about it now. And with some of these, I think the idea is more just to get the plant going, you know, because it's like I could just like sprinkle some seeds in here, but it's like, am I going to remember what seeds are there and remember to come out here and water them and baby them? But if I have like a little sprout and then I stick them in the ground, I'm more likely to, oh, okay, I need to take care of you and that sort of thing. So falling in love poppy. And the other thing, poppy. The other issue I had with seeds starting over the summer was I put seeds outside without a humidity dome on them, and the birds just came and ate all the little seeds. So I think the humidity dome is important. And why don't we do this brush strokes violas? I didn't get these to go when I tried last time, so let's try again. And I'm just going to do this whole thing. Yeah, I'm just going to use up all those seeds. Okay. And I loved growing stock. And so if I can get a head start on these, that would be great. I don't have a ton of seeds though, so that's sad. So this one's the champagne stock. And I think stock is edible, which is fun because if it's a pretty flower and I can also use it for a garnish, I think that's a bonus. Okay, so that only did half. Champagne stock. Champagne stock. And now I'm in trouble because I need to find something like that. I don't have anything like that to go with the stock. And I only have 2 snapdragons. What can I put with stock? Ooh, maybe celery. I don't want to waste those though. Maybe we'll just try this green shiso. I really don't have anything to go with it. So this one is 7 to 14 days, and shiso is 7 to 21. Okay, let's just try put the shiso with it. All right, 3 more little containers. So maybe we'll do some celery. I have this giant red celery and pink celery, and I have some of the pink celery in the raised garden beds right now. Oh no, there's no more left. Dang it. Okay, red celery. But I just think that's fun because you can't buy, I don't think you can buy celery in the grocery store. And last year I grew celery all along one of these rows, and I probably have a year's worth of celery in my freezer right now. But if I can make that celery pink or red, I think that is so fun. Tiny little seeds. Okay. Giant red. All right, so let's just go ahead and do the snapdragons. So this is the Madame Butterfly Ivory. Not very many of them. Let's see if I can get at least 20. Okay. I think I got it. And Chantilly light salmon. I loved the what was it called? It was pink and white snapdragons. Apple blossom. Those were so pretty. I need to buy more flower seeds. But I'm not going to buy any more seeds until I really use what I have, because I feel like I'm just going to end up with a bunch of stuff and then things aren't going to get used and it'll get wasted. So, okay. All right. Oh, Fuji, oh, he's such a good boy. Chantilly salmon and champagne ivory, I think. Okay, one last container is what I have. So maybe I'll try doing some asparagus. I have some asparagus in this bed over here, and there's some spears, but I want to plant the asparagus in the garden in the front, and just let it grow wild, because in this bed right here, I try and plant things that I'm going to turn over constantly. So let's just do a bunch of asparagus. Yeah, I thought asparagus was supposed to be like a spring plant, but there's a couple spears right there, and it's October. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if I need 40 asparagus plants. And this is going to take a long time to grow. I planted the crowns the last time, but we have so much going on in the garden. Maybe it'll just sit out here and then it'll be a fun surprise in like 4 years. So, asparagus. All right. There are all of our beautiful little baby plants. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave them out here or not, but it sounds good just to leave them out here. But I'm just kind of worried because I feel like the wind could blow and knock these over, and then all my babies are ruined, or it might get, I don't know, maybe the temperature's not right. I just don't want to ruin all of these little babies, but and then when I water these, I make sure that I don't like go on the top. That was my mistake I made the first time around when I was soil blocking. I just like dumped water on top, and then it made all of the little soil blocks crumble. And then the next time I tried it, I like spritzed it with like a little water bottle, but it wasn't enough water. So the whole point of like the soil blocks is for them to like stay intact. So I just go on the side through like the channels. And I learned this from, I had to watch like a bunch of videos, and someone had explained this. Like, see, it goes through the channels and then it fills up. Oh, well, like the little wicking mat seems like it's working so far, so that they keep their integrity. So, something that I wanted to share. So maybe someone else doesn't learn the hard way, because it's kind of frustrating when you do rounds and rounds of seeds and, you know, you just miss one little thing, or, you know, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to gently put a little bit of water. And then you just want to make sure that the soil blocks soak up the water like a sponge, and that you don't leave like standing water in there, because then it'll get like too moist and moldy and algae and that sort of thing. So usually you would like dump off the water, but I think because the wicking mat is there, it'll soak it up. So thank you so much for watching, and I will let you know how these seeds are coming along and if this wicking mat was a good idea or not. I know I probably shouldn't be reinventing the wheel when I'm still learning myself, but I just can't help myself. So I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you next time.